Hi everyone, we're making pizza today. It hasn't got any yeast in the base and so it's quick and simple pimple. You can put whatever you like on the top, so it's loads of fun, and who doesn't like pizza? Okay, first we need to preheat the oven. It needs to be fairly hot, so we're going to turn it up to 200 degrees. There we go. Splendid. Okay, so let's have a look at your ingredients. Like I said, we're not using yeast in the pizza base today, so we are going to use self-raising flour, 200 grams, and we're going to use some natural yogurt or plain yogurt. It can be, like I said, natural yogurt, it can be Greek yogurt, as long as it's plain yogurt. And then you've got your pizza sauce, and then you've got your toppings. Now I'm using peppers, onions, spinach, mushrooms, tomatoes, olives, but you can use whatever you want. You can use these, you can use a variety of these, you can use meat if you want, chicken or pepperoni or ham or whatever. And of course, let's not forget the cheese. You'll also need a mixing bowl to make your base. You'll need a rolling pin to roll it out, and you'll need a pizza tin. I haven't got a round pizza tin, so I'm using this square one. If you've got a round one, brilliant, or you can use a rectangular one. It doesn't really matter what shape it is, because it's going to be really tasty. Okay, you need to chop up all your veggies first. This one. Might not need the whole pepper, we'll see. Okay, get your pennies on, and now we're going to do the pizza base. So, we need 200 grams of self-raising flour. There we go. And we need the same of the natural yogurt. So pour that in as well. And now we're going to mix it all together. Do it with a spoon first, and then you can get your hands in there. Okay, now that it's come together in the bowl, we're going to tip it out onto a floured surface, and we're going to knead it for a few minutes. It needs to be so it doesn't stick to your hands anymore. So, lightly flour your surface. Get the dough on there. Yes, you see it's still quite sticky, so yeah, make sure your surface is floured, because otherwise this is going to stick to your surface. And then we're going to knead it like I showed you how to do when we made bread. There's not as much of this as when we made bread. Okay, That's about okay now. I've been kneading it for about 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe a little less. So now we've got to roll it out now, and like I said, I've got a square tin, so I'm going to try and make it as square as possible. Keep your surface floured. Oops, a daisy. Otherwise it's going to stick to your surface when you're rolling it out. There we go. And I'd put a little bit on the rolling pin as well. Okay. Now we need to roll it out so it's quite thin, because it's going to rise a little bit in the oven, and anyway, we like a nice thin base for this pizza. Turn it round, roll it down, turn it round, roll it down. Okay, so when you get to this stage now, you need to put it in your tin. So you need to grease the tin slightly, unless you've got a good non-stick one. Mine's a little bit old, so better to be safe than sorry. There you are, some grease in there. And then you need to roll your dough onto your wooden spoon and then lift it into the tin. Okay, so mine's not fitting in properly, but it doesn't matter too much. Like I said, there we go. Put it in there like that. Okay, let's get the sauce on. Okay, let's get the toppings on. I've neatened up my dough a bit. I cut the edges off and made it more of a square. So first you need your pizza sauce. Now, I have made my own pizza sauce today with what I had in the cupboard. I basically blitzed a tin of chopped tomatoes in the blender. I added some tomato puree to it and a bit of salt and a bit of oregano, and you can do it you know, as you like it to your taste, but this is quite nice. If you haven't got any of these ingredients, or you just want to use tomato puree, or you've got a jar of like spaghetti sauce in your cupboard, you could use that, you know, anything as long as it's got a tomato base. Okay, so let's get it on. Spread it on. There you go. This is very, very nice. Okay, now you want to put your cheese on. I'm using cheddar cheese. You can use whatever cheese you really like. I mean, mozzarella is also a very nice cheese to use if you've got that, but you can't beat a bit of plain old cheddar, that's what I say. Now then, I've got some onions here I'm going to put on. I sliced my onions rather than chopping them, but again, that is entirely your call. Some peppers. Then we got some mushrooms here. And put tomatoes on. I'm using tomatoes. Some black olives here. I would get pitted olives if you're going to use olives. I didn't have pitted olives and I had to cut the stones out, which was a little bit fiddly. But of course you might not be using olives, so it might not matter anyway. Now I'm going to use some basil here because I really like it. You might not like it, you don't have to use it. I'm particularly fond of basil, so I'm going to put that on. Now, if you've got more cheese that you want to put on top, do that. As you can see, I haven't got any cheese left in my bowl. And also, like, I'm going to put, I got this pizza mix, but you can use some oregano if you want, or not at all. But I'm just going to give that a bit of a, there we go, like that. And I'm going to put a bit of black pepper on mine. Again, this is entirely up to you. Okay, I would say that is ready to go in the oven. Okay, so we're going to bung this in the oven now for 15 to 17 minutes, something like that. It's gonna be yummy. Okay, let's get it out of the oven. Ooh. Well, good golly gosh. Just look at that. Oh, it smells delicious. Wow. Another thing I haven't got in my kitchen is a pizza slice. So I'm just gonna slice this up with a knife and fork. Well, that looks fantastic. Right then, that's the end of the tutorial for today. If you want to make a bigger pizza, like a family-sized pizza, I would double the ingredients for the dough. So whereas we use 200 grams of each, use 400. That'll make a really big family-sized pizza. And then all you've got to do is eat it. Yummy.